Democrats strategist Antjuan Seawright, who joins us to talk all things Trump. Very, very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. It's good to be with you.
Lovely to see you. It's been a long time no see, but I mean, you were quite cross with me last time, I'm sure. I wonder if we might have some more areas of agreement this time around. Donald Trump has arrived in the Middle East on a tour, starting with Saudi Arabia, and it's emerged fascinating that he's decided to accept a luxury jet as the new Air Force One, costing $400 million from the Qatari government. Should he be accepting that gift or not?
Absolutely not. You and I both know, and the world knows, if this was any Democratic official accepting this kind of gift, the world would be in outrage and Republicans would be losing their mind, likely calling for impeachment. The appearance of pay for play is here. There's nothing that says that this is a good thing for the long-term benefit or bill of health of America. This is all about Donald Trump, and I don't think it's a good idea. And quite frankly, I think Republicans in the United States Congress should be speaking out loudly about this.
Well, by all accounts, some actually are. Unusual, some Trump diehards are even there criticising. It's actually in the US Constitution. There's a provision known as the Emoluments Clause, which restricts what gifts US presidents can accept from foreign governments. Basically, so you can't become beholden to foreign governments. I would have thought there's also a really basic issue over security for Air Force One, even if it's refitted by, people in America. This jet apparently sitting there, this Boeing jet in America right now. The Qatari government is a government that I know everyone pretends they're our allies, but they are also a government which basically has offered safe haven to pretty much every terrorist group known to mankind.
Well, when you cuddle and play footsie with evil, evil tends to prevail in the end. And I think that's what Trump has done throughout his career. I think all of this is another example of extreme government overreach. I think Donald Trump and his administration are really testing the system to see what they can and cannot get away with, because he does not have to face the consequences of public opinion in the form of a re-election. And that's where the ballot box matters, because all of this should be tied up around he and the corruption with this administration.
Yeah, but that's the same issue with any president in his second term. Hey, look, at least he's acknowledged he's not going to run for a third, which again is also banned by the Constitution. Now, you're wearing a T-shirt, for those who are not watching on YouTube on a connected device but listening instead. You're wearing a T-shirt that says, "Don't look at me, I didn't vote for him." You're certainly not a Trump fan. I was of the view that the offering last November, if I were an American having two elections, I wouldn't have voted for Trump. I would have voted for him as the least of two bad options. I quite like some of the things he's done on immigration, on Doge and things like that. However, when it comes to international affairs, I've got some big issues with him, and particularly in relation to what he's been doing with Ukraine. He has talked about basically Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader, making concessions to Vladimir Putin. His Steve Witkoff, his envoy, basically saying, give up Crimea, give up the Donbass, and we'll have peace, but we won't give a security guarantee to prevent him taking any more. There's a possibility of this peace talks on Thursday in Istanbul. No ceasefire in place, but Zelensky has gone, fine, I'll turn up. Putin, I'll sit and wait for you. A, do you think Putin's going to turn up? And B, if he does, do you think Donald Trump, as he suggested, could turn up as well? And would there be any sort of peace deal coming out of that?
Well, let me start back with some of your open commentary. Okay. One, I think Donald Trump has been piss poor on every single issue.
Okay, language. I'm afraid that apologies everybody for that language.
Everything that he promised to the American people that he was going to deliver on, he has not. In every single major issue in this country.
Well, immigration.
That people have given him high marks for, even for immigration. Even as relates to immigration, he's upside down when it comes to public opinion in America.
He said he would cut immigration at the Mexican border, and he has. That's just simply a fact.
Upside down in the court of public opinion amongst the American people on every single issue, including immigration. When it comes to international affairs, I think the president has been an embarrassment. I think his ongoing cuddling and playing footsie with Putin as Putin's power grab exercise continues to be in play. I think it's an embarrassment. I think it's dangerous, and it sets a very dangerous tone for those who come after Donald Trump. Ukraine is an ally. I think we have to do everything we can to stand with them and stand for them.
Do you think that Donald Trump may change his tune on that? Because there's an element where he was talking earlier, and we had that horrific scene in the Oval Office when he and J.D. Vance were berating Zelensky. Donald Trump was kind of defending Vladimir Putin, this poor man, who needs his support. But do you think that as the feeling grows, and I know a lot of American people are very critical of Donald Trump's stance on this, that actually that he's being played by Vladimir Putin and he's looking like a fool and he's embarrassing, humiliating America as a world power by basically looking like he's being fooled by Putin, that he may change his tune and offer more help to Ukraine and help Ukraine stand fast?
I think this is about pride with Donald Trump. I do not think he's going to change his tune with Vladimir Putin. I think we saw that when Trump was president the first time. We saw evidence, bipartisan evidence, that Russia played a role in hacking to our elections. Donald Trump did not side with the American people. He sided with Vladimir Putin. And then we've seen examples since he's been in office where he's essentially taken the side of Russia and Vladimir Putin. So I don't think he's going to change his tune. I think he's going to continue to play both sides of the fence.
I believe that allegation has actually been completely debunked. Just finally, we've got about 30 seconds. I'll keep it very brief. Donald Trump has claimed that the EU is nastier than China. He switched his focus in his global trade war. Hours after agreeing that 90-day pause and tit-for-tat tariff with China, he has suggested that the EU is not paying their fair share. Why does he think that the EU is nastier than China?
Donald Trump usually says outlandish things to distract the American people and the world from certain other things. Certainly, we cannot take anything he says in a very serious form. I think this is all about him and trying to use the microphone he has to draw attention to himself. I think there's precedent that's been in place around the world and as the United States and where it positioned itself. And I think the EU is a prime example of that.
OK, absolutely fascinating. Well, as Antjuan Seawright says, Democratic strategist on his T-shirt, don't look at me, I didn't vote for him. Great to have you on board.